Reveal Lurrus on the play. Keep. That's good. This might be a basic island into Blood Crypt hand. Blood Crypt is a land I do think that you need to play in the deck. It's the only land in the deck that doesn't tap for blue because we're playing 4 copies of Archmage's Charm. And we've 3-2'd with every deck we played earlier today. So maybe we could get a 4-1. Or another 5-0 would be nice too. I 5-0'd with this deck, I think. I didn't play it very much before the bans, but I did 5-0 with it before the bans, like kind of recently. Gabroth, 13 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Alright, definitely just gonna get basic island here. Have I tried any kind of Esper Mentor deck in Modern? I mean, it's been a while, but yes. I'm gonna keep that actually and try to go in on the Sprite Dragon. Here come the Swiftspear decks. So 2 leagues ago, it was the Black Midrange League, and then last league, it was the Big Mana League for sure. So maybe this will be the Swiftspear League. Probably not the best deck to play against all Swiftspear decks, but we've got a good plan. I don't think the matchup's that bad. Oh boy. Well, I'm scared. Didn't you play against Burn with Blue-Red Dragons? Did I? Oh, I did. Yeah, okay. So we did play against it once. I forgot. I think you're right. I'll keep the bubble. Because we're kind of hoping our Sprite Dragon is blocking Stormwing Entity. Opponent's top card is another copy of Stormwing Entity, which maybe we get to Mana Leak. Alright. I'll believe you, T-Row. You wouldn't lie to me, would you? Do I need to force this? I kind of think I actually do. Because I really just don't want there to be damage on the Sprite Dragon. And if they're just going to go, like, if their turn is land Stormwing Entity this turn, that's actually really good for us if that's their turn. They Lava Dart me, so they're not casting a Stormwing Entity. But I guess I'm going to cling to dust their Lava Dart in their upkeep while they don't have a mountain. Okay. I'm going to take 5, which is certainly risky, but I think just the line here. Hold. Opponent's hand is Stormwing Entity Mystery card. I actually feel like we're ahead now. Gonna leave this back to block for a turn. Whew. Thank you, Sprite Dragon. You're so good in this deck. It's crazy. We also still have Lurrus and Cling to Dusts in to escape. And Mana Leak this. We've definitely drawn well this game. Might be good to attack this turn. Gain life. We're at 8 life. One of my opponent's 2 cards are Stormwing Entity. So I'm dead to 2 bolts. I'm dead to 1 Lava Dart, 1 bolt. Probably not dead to 2 Lava Darts. I think we're just going to attack. We know one of our opponent's cards is Stormwing Entity. Why not only attack with the 8/8? Then we're chump blocking with the other Sprite Dragon, and maybe that's fine. Maybe it's fine to chump block. double Manamorphose just like makes my gut churn, but I guess maybe we're supposed to not attack with the 2/2. We were dead to 2 bolts, but yeah, we should have left the 2/2 back, I think. Now we're dead to exactly Lava Dart. Ah, obviously, leaving the 2/2 back was terrible. Dunking on everyone who would have done that. So they're dead to Lightning Bolt or Drown in the Lock. Not that one, though. You think that was a huge punt, but hopefully it doesn't matter. I agree, yeah. I think I'm just pushing the Swift Spear. I think pushing Swift Spear is better than clinging. I might as well put the Lurrus into my hand, but it won't really matter. Yeah, I think it's better to push the Swift Spear than to cling, because like they're like I think way more likely to be able to kill us with just a Swift Spear at 7 life than to kill us without a Swift Spear at 4 life with 2 cards. Okay, so I do like Unearths a lot against these red decks. I like the extra copies of Fatal Push. I like Dispute against Blue-Red Prowess. I do like Spell Snare. I don't like Kolagon's Command. I don't like 3 copies of Mana Leak, and I probably don't want the Force of Negations either. We can maybe play 1 over like Opt number 4. I also feel like I probably don't want Explosives. I have so much spot removal, and Explosives on the draw is really slow. Explosives is way better against red-black. Maybe I'll bring these in on the play, but on the draw I think I'm not really wanting them. Right. Let's reveal Lurrus. Did I see the? Yeah, I actually lost to that Grixis Dragon list in the challenge. The player Diablo is a streamer that I follow. Good brewer, good streamer. Someone I recommend checking out. Top card is Drown in the Lock. Drown is like not too bad to draw here, but I am also pretty interested in drawing my 3rd land, so I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, Diablo's Through the Breach deck is cool. Just plays a lot of really cool lists. Fetching and Shocking to play a dragon here feels pretty bad. You thought Diablo ghosted me a few months ago? That's not ringing a bell, honestly. I don't think so. I could just forget, but I don't think so. Diablo is also in Steam Company, being one of the few people who play Ant at the Legacy PT. Really? Wow, that we have a lot in common. It's like, it really was only like, it was not very many people. I probably don't want to jam Dragon here. Definitely could, though. I'm going to hold up Charm. Charm / Snap. Oh, maybe this Charm just gets spell pierced. But my opponent now has basically yelled that they don't have a 2nd threat to play. Or, sorry, a 3rd threat to play. Which is good to know. Opponent has 4 Stormwings in hand, maybe. Likely that they have like 2 burn spells at least, maybe 3. So kind of glad to just like get them to target my Sprite Dragon and not my very vulnerable face. There's another Mishra's Bauble on top. I guess I think I'm fine to draw Mishra's Bauble because I have another dragon in my hand. So now maybe I'm going to want to try to find a land to go Sprite Dragon and Snap Push. Although Steam Vents is kind of bad. I guess I'll take it. It's kind of hard to get burned out in this matchup. Although certainly possible with them not playing anything. Maybe it's bad to have kept the Steam Vents. But here we are. They killed my Sprite Dragon last turn, so it's like if they are holding they've already used 2 lightning bolts. They only play 4 bolts. They're about to cast a spell. They have a Tormod's Crypt on top, which is pretty good against my hand of triple Snapcaster Mage. At least they didn't draw it this last turn, huh? They didn't have Spell Pierce earlier. If they did have Spell Pierce, I think they made a mistake by not casting it. They have Vapor Snag my Sprite Dragon, which is fine, I think. Oh, they Vapor Snag their Soulscar Mage. Also fine. Oh, and my dragon. Sure. Deal. They could have maybe waited on the Crypt for Prowess for next turn. Immediately cracking, wow. I don't think that that's good if they know that I play... If they know that I'm playing Drown in the Lock in my deck, but, I mean, obviously they don't necessarily know that. So what I think I'm going to do here is just attack, and then I'll leave the Snapcaster back to block the Mage. Oh, no, I tapped really badly. Now I have to fetch. That could end up costing me. Alright, I'll just counter this. See if it ends up mattering. How does my opponent know I have 2 Snapcasters in my hand? They should probably Lava Dart my Snapcaster. Ghost. I mean, we don't accuse people of ghosting that aggressively. I feel like that was like one of the the least sus plays possible, honestly. Yeah, that's like way too aggressive of an accusation. Stop trying to gain control. I think I like this better. Just blocking, seeing what they do, and then if they don't require anything that... Like, we can gain control in response, we can counter a spell, or we can just draw 2 if they just let this trade happen, which I think is better for us. Why didn't they Lava Dart? I'm not sure. They might just be trying to go after my face, but we have this Mana Leak should probably stop that. I also don't know why they didn't cast the Manamorphose on their turn. Yeah, like we definitely did confirm 1 ghost last week, and so maybe that is even just confirming the ghosting invites the conversation, which I don't like. Hoping they're out of Vapor Snags. I have a bunch of foil Vapor Snags from back when I was a Blue-Red Delver player in like 2014. Yeah, gifting the Ghost to sub was awesome. It was epic. I could Mana Leak this. I don't think I'm going to. Could bolt them here. It's probably not good to do that though. Yeah, Moderns felt really good to me recently. Awesome. Alright, 1-0. I think this deck is really good. Or I hope it's really good, at least. I think we keep this hand against an opposing Lurrus deck. I feel like when I see Lurrus, I'm starting to think Hammer Time more than I'm thinking Red-Black. Obviously not anymore. Probably Jund. Can't you just turn off all your stops to F6 indefinitely? Maybe. I mean, I wasn't there. And it's also pretty easy to just get flustered and not do like the perfect play in that weird spot. Take the opt. We've played against so many different decks today. It's awesome. Modern is just all over the place, which I really am liking. Polluted Delta. Maybe 4-color Shadow. The last 4 leagues have been against 20 different decks. That's awesome. So my opponent definitely has Scourge in their hand. But we can still bolt Scourge. There's just no way they are bolting me. I mean, I don't know why they're bolting main phase, I guess. But it's a good draw. I actually played some Pioneer on Saturday and had some fun. I don't like think I'm like on Pioneer again, but I had a good time. I definitely had a good time. We brewed a really cool deck together. For those of you who weren't able to join us on Saturday, we were doing some brewing in Pioneer again, and we had talked in chat about this interaction a little bit, that you can Elder Deep Fiend, you can Pyre of Heroes Elder Deep Fiend into Void Winnower. And then we also, like, this is another brew we had a while ago where Fierce Empath tutors up Elder Deep Fiend, and then you can also sack Fierce Empath to Elder Deep Fiend. And then you have some elves to like turn your elves into real cards, and you can also pyre your elves into Fierce Empath. Then you got Matter Reshaper into Thought Not Seer, and Matter Reshaper also works with Deep Fiend. It's a really, really fun deck. I think we went 3 and 2. Can't remember. I might actually just hold up Hardcast Force here. I don't have a Bauble in my graveyard, and I also don't want to cast Lurrus next turn. Yeah, the deck was really, really sweet and fun, and it actually felt decent. Like it didn't feel like I was playing a bad deck, and I've played plenty. Alright, definitely bolting this. I really don't want to go below 17 because I think they have a Scourge. It's pretty likely that this kills the Swift Spear. The main deck's something weird. If I draw a Bauble, I'll put Lurrus into my hand. Or if I like Hardcast Force and draw something, and don't draw something, I'll put Lurrus into my hand. But I think I'm just straight chilling here. I'm not going to go below 17 until they make me. They know about my second bolt. I guess they have a second Scourge, but I'll just bolt. You know what? I guess that they are probably going to play a second Scourge next turn, so I'll just put the Lurrus into my hand. Although maybe I'm supposed to be fetching up a Black Source rather than playing the tapped Canal. Kind of flooded here. What caused Mana Leak to be good again? Uro was really, really, really good against Mana Leak, and now Uro is banned. But Remand was really good against Uro. They took my Force? Wow. Yeah, Lurrus having lifelink here is super relevant. I don't know if I would have drawn it if I didn't draw like this Mana Leak as a protection spell for Lurrus. But if my opponent still misses their land drop and they just cast Scourge, we can Mana Leak and then they can't really attack. Is Delver of Secrets not good enough because of Lurrus and Bauble? Delver of Secrets if Delver of Secrets is going to be good in a deck, you could put it in this one, but I think this deck is better without Delver of Secrets, but I have played Delver in this deck in the past. I just don't think it's like... I think the card is just too low power level for me to want to play. We probably can't Mana Leak a Bolt on Lurrus. Maybe we can. But they're basically locked into having another Scourge here. So maybe we just need to save the Mana Leak for that. And then we have 4 Archmage's Charms in our deck to draw to kill this Shadow. Yeah, so I think they're like basically guaranteed to cast Scourge here, or that's the read I have, and I could be wrong. And so we could try to Mana Leak the Scourge and then draw an Archmage's Charm to deal with the Shadow, and that's how we can try to win this game. The Dismember definitely makes sense for them to not... Okay, well, maybe I had the wrong read. But I'm just going to Mana Leak this. Alright, Sprite Dragon. I hate to ask this of you, but you've got to take one for the team here. You got to take one for the team. Buy me a turn, please. Sprite Dragon refuses to buy me a turn. I will not chump block. Alright, game 2. Another Unearth matchup. Definitely a 4 Fatal Push matchup too. Maybe cut the 4th Bolt. Explosives are great as well. Do I want these Kolaghan's Command? This Kolaghan's Command? I think I probably do. I don't think I want Nile Spellbomb. I can probably afford to cut like Mana Leak number 3, Op number 4. I think we probably have a fine matchup here. Yeah. You can still lose, of course. Alright, on the play. Lurrus. We can keep this ham. I'm just playing Blood Crypt tapped. Again, just not dealing damage to yourself is so relevant against the Scourge deck. Yeah, I think keeping 3 bolts feels about the right number to me. But yeah, you can definitely burn them out. But sometimes it doesn't line that well up against their draw, so I want to be a little more in on the black removal. What are the best answers to Toski in Standard Sultai? I don't know. I don't play really much Standard these days. Thanks, Void. Yeah, I do think that enjoying your decks is a really big part of Magic, so I try to make the decks I play competitive and fun. Not prepping for the next PT. I'm currently not qualified. I haven't gotten to play that many qualifiers this time around. I think I've maybe played like 4 this season. But currently not qualified, so not testing. Get that 6 streamer invite. Nah, it's not. I don't think that's gonna happen. I kind of hope that it doesn't, honestly. Do I really think that attack was good? Yeah, I do. I do like that attack. So we can't bolt the Tarmogoyf and have it die here. So maybe I was supposed to tap this Blood Crypt. Oh, I guess, yeah, I definitely was. We can shrink it. And maybe kill it next turn if they don't have a land. It's a bit awkward with this drown. We could have just drowned the Goyf. Maybe that was better. Not feeling drowning the Goyf. It felt pretty close to me. Or like we get to shrink it here, and if we draw a we draw like Spire Buff Canal, we get to bolt the Goyf, although that's not super likely. Seemed pretty close. My Tarmogoyf is better than theirs. Do I really think that attack was good? My Historic deck from the last PT was sweet. Thanks for saying that. I agree. I did really well on Historic. I think that my list for Standard was just so medium, and I also wasn't very prepped for the format. So I did really poorly in Standard and did well and really well on Historic. I don't know. Does attack still hold up if you don't draw any dragons? Well, if I don't draw any dragons, then I can't attack. What did I play in Historic? I played a Bant control deck that main decked four Tails End to beat up on Sultai and Goblins, and I did really well. I think I was 6-2 in Historic, and like I played against like Gregory Orange and LSV and Huey Jensen for like my first 3 matches, and then other notable players too, and I was doing really well. Took the opt? Wow. Yeah, I played against Kai in Standard, and I lost a very, very close match to Kai in Standard, but he complimented me on my sideboard Relic Robber tech, which I really liked. That was like the one thing I liked about my Standard deck was Relic Robber was actually some really sweet sideboard tech. Please fix Ravnica. Maybe, maybe not. The sponsorship's over, so maybe I should just delete the command or the plug. If someone can, if a mod is available to do that, I guess. Help me out. You played me at the last PT? Which, what was the matchup? Mods can't delete plugs. Okay, I'll do it later. I'll get around to it. Yeah, I thought Relic Robber was really good against the Esper decks. I still do think that. Almost stole me. It won me game 2 and almost won me game 3, I think, against Kai. Alright, do you think that attack was good? It was Standard, you're on Gruul, yeah. I feel like I played the Standard games really poorly. I honestly, I spent, like, I had 2 weeks of prepping because I didn't have a Historic collection to test it all before I actually got the account, and I was still, I probably should have streamed more of the testing on stream, but I streamed almost none of it on stream, and so I spent like 10 days on Historic and only like 3 days on Standard, which I think was just a mistake. I felt very choked on the amount of time I had to prep. But I was really unhappy with like basically everything as far as Standard decisions went in that format, and really happy with Historic decisions. Can mulligan this hand? Maybe not. Maybe we will. We have Cling to Dust to cycle. We have Spell Snare, which is really nice on the draw. This hand really just does need to draw 1 land to be good. I'm going to keep. Yeah, I that is true. Like, Standard was definitely not a very fun environment then. Maybe it's fun now. But I agree. I didn't really enjoy like my testing process very much. I didn't have a good time. And also, you know, I usually like to try to metagame at Pro Tours, and sometimes you can be successful at that, and sometimes you can't. But I was really successful in the Historic portion metagaming, and so like, but my first like 2 days of PT testing, I was trying to metagame, and I realized I couldn't. I realized that the metagame was just so solved that the best you could hope for was have a techie mono green or green red or Esper list. And at that point, I just like kind of gave up and played a pretty stock green-red list with like the sideboard Relic Robbers as tech for Esper. And I was pretty disappointed about that. Probably might take the Snare. I feel like they should probably be choosing between these two cards. They definitely should not take Sprite Dragon and let me unearth it. Take Unearth, interesting. Well, hope we draw a land. How do I feel about buying into paper modern decks but fearing Pyre Creep killing the archetype after archetype? I've been buying a lot of paper modern cards lately, so I guess I'm okay with it. I've had modern decks banned before. Had legacy decks banned before. Just kind of okay with it all, I guess. Right, we've had 3 looks at a land, we've missed on them. I think it's fine to keep with 3 looks, but whatever. Still not out of it. WotC will fold the format in the next couple years. This is not the stream for doomer conspiracy theories about WotC like loving tanking their own products. WotC knows like Modern is popular, and I know they want to keep it this way. Right, assuming they want to keep it this way. Put Lurrus into hand. That's a good play. Yeah, just the doomer conspiracy theories about Wizards like intentionally tanking things. Just makes no sense to me. Yeah, like Modern Horizons 2 is coming out. Damn. Alright, land. This is our 5th look at a land, please. Come on. Yargle, please. Yargle. Damn it! Yargle just lets me down time and time again. Over and over. Is it a conspiracy theory to think they're unwise and don't really know what they're doing? I mean, I think that's an okay take. Without like just totally derailing the conversation, there are 2 types of decisions made by Wizard. Wizards has many teams full of people who are in touch with Magic, who are very engaged with the game, who understand it because they've played it, and they're very good at designs, and they've been designing the games for decades. And then there are decisions that are made by corporate entities, especially new corporate people who don't understand the game, don't understand the player base, are only interested in turning a profit. There are decisions made by those people too. And so I think it's important to try to recognize where, like, what's coming from what. You know what I mean? Fetch land, please. So frustrating. We can't even bolt this. I guess I'm just unsummoning the Goyf so I don't discard. So it's like you have to try to understand like which decision is coming from which group at any given time, and so like most like decisions that I've been critical of Wizards are like the very like corporate greed ones that are out of touch. But as far as like tanking formats goes, which was the initial comment, it makes no sense at all. Like those decisions are not going to be coming from corporate people, and so it just, I don't know. That's, people like to talk about Hasbro or Wizards like it's one person making every decision, but it's just not. It's just not. It's a big group of people with various, opinions and takes on the format and the game in general. It's just a big group of people. It's not just one person like people pretend it is. Yeah, Modern is definitely still wildly popular. Wizards knows that. It's like if they're gutting the formats for some reason, they're just throwing away millions. It just makes no sense. I think. All right. I know that we like lose if we don't drown this, but I think need to keep hitting these land drops. Winning this game would be amazing. By the way, I'm just gonna drown main phase. I don't really feel like this like gets punished by anything, but if they have a way to stop this, we lose on if we do this on our upkeep or on their turn. So I'm just gonna get the F6 value. When I do that during upkeep, if they have Veil of Summer, they have to tap their green source on their turn, but I guess it doesn't really matter because we're just dead either way. But there's no reason to do it on main phase or upkeep last turn. There's literally zero difference. And same thing here. If they're just untapped, if they have all this mana untapped and they're not doing anything, there's no difference. I think we're gonna win this game. I think my opponent's pretty flooded. We could draw 2 cards in response. I think I'm just not going to. What does EE on 1 do? It kills Death Shadow and Monastery Swift Spear. And now we can maybe lean on Cling to Dust. We still have Lurrus as a companion here. We could maybe just play Sprite Dragon with Drown Up, but my opponent is, basically guaranteed to have removal spells for it. So I think that I'd like to get a Cling to Dust off. Go up to 8 before I put Lurrus into my hand. And maybe I want to gain 8 on my opponent's upkeep to not die to double bolt. This is kind of bad against them casting a 2-drop, but I at least have Drown. Moncello, 14 months. Thank you for your resubscription. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate that. Up to 8. Opponent could definitely have Death Shadow in their hand too. You thought I was going to concede after they veiled me? I mean, Veil of Summer, like, it didn't even do that much anyways, right? Because, like, they were just going to get to, like, replay their Tarmogoyf off the Lurrus. There's, like, I feel like there were just way worse things that could happen. How do I not have a Bauble in my yard? I think Enduring Ideal. Enduring Ideal, I think, is unplayable in all formats. If I'm going to be honest with you, I hate to be the one to say it, but I really just truly think Enduring Ideal has just never been good in any format. Card looks really fun though. Opponent does have 5 cards in their hand. I imagine that some amount of them are other copies of Fatal Push. They could maybe have another Veil, I guess. I'm gonna try to steal this. It worked. I'm just gonna go attacking. Alright. Leave up mana here. I'm going to play explosives on 2, then leave up mana. I don't have another basic in my deck. I might just let this resolve if I did, though. This is a crazy comeback we've had. This is a crazy comeback. Obviously, my opponent was super flooded, and we were never beating them if they didn't have a really bad draw like this. Kind of weird that they didn't target this, also. What happens if you attack with Death Shadow and Lurrus while at 10 life? I believe that the Shadow deals the amount of damage before the Lurrus lifelink resolves. I'm like 90% sure. But lifelink and shadow is a bit weird. Eric, 7 months, lucky number 7. Welcome back. Here's for lucky number 8. I don't think we're supposed to play Snapcaster here. I am going to shock to present lethal with the shadow. We have Drown, Snap, Drown Up, so they have to have 3 answers to this, or 2 bolts for my face. Or 3 bolts for my face. And a push. This is Dismember. Alright, that just resolves. This is double Dismember? I think we just let this resolve too, and then play Lurrus Engineered Explosives on 1 with Drown into lockup. Just take that Great Exchange. Oops, all removal spells. We have Unearth, so don't really think there's much of a point in countering that. We're also up 12 minutes on the clock somehow. We can sack our explosives on 2 and then replay our Sprite Dragon? Wow. Awesome game. Awesome game. We missed how many land drops? A lot. So I'm probably just going to play explosives on 0 to make the dragon a 2/2 if I draw nothing. In order to keep snap drown snap drown up so I don't lose to anything. Maybe I could have afforded to play it on 1. Probably doesn't really matter. I have 2 counter spells. My opponent has 2 cards in their hands. So they need to have exactly a Abrupt Decay, I guess. Surabito, 1 year. Thank you for that. Welcome back. My opponent with the 2 bolts in their hands. Well, I'm at 6 life. I mean, they know I have Cling to Dust, so it is correct to bolt my creatures. It's kind of funny. They could have maybe played to that. They had another bolt in their hand that they killed the Lurrus with the previous turn. I don't know. I guess Lurrus gains life. 2-0. 2-0 though with Grixis Dragon. Do we keep this on 6? I don't think so. It's kind of hard to keep like 1 land reactive spells in a matchup you don't know about. My opponent kept 6. I think I'm gonna keep these cards. I think I'm bobbling myself. Snapcaster Mage on top it's a card I'd like to shuffle here. I think. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna tap Steam Vents. Maybe I was supposed to do that on their turn. Steam Vents tapped. Great minds think alike. Yeah, so mull to 5 on the play stings. They did mull to 6, but we're just being down the cards. It feels really bad. Oh, I see. Interesting. Interesting. Didn't realize that this was Storm, of course. You only saw the Steam Vents. Probably an okay shape if we draw a 1 mana removal spell here. Is this deck decisively worse without the negations? The negations are really, really, really important. They play very nicely with both Sprite Dragon and Lurrus. I also think that Force of Negation is a... I'm not an MTG finance guy. I personally, though, have bought a playset of Force of Negations because I think they are a steal at $50. I think $50 is actually... It actually feels incredibly inexpensive for the card. And if it doesn't get reprinted in Horizons, the card is going to be much more expensive. This is a spliced Desperate Ritual. So we can kill both of these in response. 6 mana though. I'm just going to counter the 6 mana. How difficult and advisable would be to put Cryptic Command in Scrollblade? It would be both difficult and inadvisable, I think. I don't exactly know how to quantify either of those things for you, though. Maybe we let this resolve. No, if we let this resolve, then they exile too much for it to really counter anything else. How much is Force worth on MTGO? A lot. I'm not sure exactly how much. I'm probably never beating Remand here. Anyways. I think it's still Brick, I guess. Yeah, but Force is worth a lot. It's one of the more expensive cards. Right. Down game 1. I do think this is a good matchup, though, so hopefully we can win the next 2 games and not mulligan to 5 again. So I think 6 removal spells is probably about where you want to be, and that's as many as we have. I think I don't want the Kolaghan's Command. I do think I'll bring in the Spell Bombs. Or maybe just 2 Spell Bombs. 3 could maybe be too much. I think I want to cut the Unearth, cut the 4th Snapcaster. And then we also have to think about playing Engineered Explosives for the Goblin tokens, which seems like a pretty easy way to lose. Maybe I'll play 1 copy of Explosives, or maybe I'll just try to, like, you know, play around Explosives. Yeah, and I say this as someone who's not in tune with the finance side of Magic at all. Force of Negation feels like a $100 card to me, with 1 printing and a master set with super high demand. Or Horizon set, whatever. Let's keep this. I think I'm putting back Bolt. We can Mana Leak a 2-drop. You won't. No, Drown is really, really good in this matchup. They fill up their graveyard super quickly. I would cut a Mana Leak over a Drown. You like some Gus's clean answer to Past in Flames? I don't know. I mean, Gus is fine. Gus is a fine card against Storm, but I think it's worse than like most of our other cards. We in my opinion, we just have tons of great cards in this matchup, and we definitely have cards in our sideboard right now that I would be pretty happy to have in my deck and other, other decks. But just our whole deck lines up pretty well against them, honestly. So I think there's such a thing as bringing a card in because it's like a card you bring in this matchup usually, but it not being actually correct to bring in. I think I'm not going to cast the Ops right now. Did you miss a Pioneer stream? Yeah, we streamed some Pioneer on Saturday in between rounds of the Modern Challenge. We probably played like 10 matches of Pioneer or something. Maybe not even that much, but a decent amount. Way more than we have been. And let me opt first. Pretty sure we're supposed to bottom that because we're light on lands. We could die here. It's not super likely. This is also going to kill them quickly. Was it enjoyable? Yeah, I had fun. How's the Leyline Devotion deck? That's my favorite deck in the format. I think we went 3-2. But it wasn't like crazy good. So they're only floating 1 mana here. If they have 3 mana floating, I'm dead. They could be trying to play around Force of Negation by not committing another ritual here, but I'm going to play as if they don't have. I'm going to play as if they don't have. Another ritual in their hand already. Now I'll go ahead and give them the Grape Shot if they just want to kill my Sprite Dragon. I think that's fine if they're using all of these resources to just kill Sprite Dragon. But it's down to just 2 cards in their hand. I know this is a very slow play, but I'm just going to kill Baral. Still haven't found the 3rd land. We kept a 2-lander, right? We kept 2 lands, cleaned us up, Bobble. We still haven't found one. It's kind of crazy. Ooh. Opponent puts Desperate Ritual and Empty the Warrens in their hand. Empty is kind of scary. Am I just supposed to cast Sprite Dragon and try to erase it? I think yes is the answer. I guess no was the answer. Tough match. I do feel favored, but whatever. Let's keep this hand. Why was Spirit Guide so important? It's kind of a complicated question. But it just played so well with, like, specifically Karn the Great Creator and gave you that extra speed that the deck really, really wanted. There's an island on top. I'm going to shuffle it away. Is it time for Mono Red Prowess with Bedlam Reveler to rise? Maybe. I kind of, for a long time, I was thinking that deck was just the Prowess deck to be on. It's probably not as good as Blue-Red with Stormbringer Entity, but that being said, I also think you can pretty easily afford to play 1 copy of Bedlam Reveler in your Blue-Red Prowess deck. But I think Mono Red Prowess with Bedlam Reveler is maybe the best budget deck in Modern. Yes, opponent, looks like my opponent's playing Heliod combo with Coco here. They're going to upkeep the Coco, which I'll mana weak. Is Chandra's Incinerator good in any of the red aggro decks right now? I don't think so. And maybe we were all debated into thinking it never was good. But I'm not of the opinion that it's particularly strong right now, no. I'm going to get my Grixis Triome end of turn. Maybe I'm not. If I draw a Fatal Push, I'm going to want to push this Ranger Captain. They get a Noble Hierarch here. Does that mean they maybe have Archangel of Thune in their hand? Alright, I'm going to draw a Fatal Push and get punished. Can't play 18 threats with Reveler. I mean, I think you can. I think the first Reveler is going to be fine. But I could be wrong. It's definitely not my area of expertise or whatever. I'm going to snap leak this. And if they want to sack Ranger Captain, that's fine. To counter the Snapcaster. One Ballista. Yeah, so if they're gonna try to sack Ranger Captain then play Heliod, we can just push. So I think we can pass here. I'll also say that when you cast Bedlam Reveler, it always feels insane. You know, whenever you put Bedlam Reveler onto the stack, you're like, boy, I'm smart for playing Bedlam Reveler in my deck. But it's definitely possible that you're not supposed to. You know, it's certainly possible that, as smart as you feel when you cast Bedlam Reveler, it's possible that you maybe just shouldn't be. That's not the best way to build the deck. I think I'm actually blocking here, so that way I can snap Bolt Ranger Captain end of turn. Yeah, Bedlam Reveler is definitely very strong. I'm not trying to understate that. I feel like Seasoned Pyromancer eats up a lot of Reveler's real estate. Maybe, yeah. And maybe not. I think, like, if you're only going to play one copy, I'd rather play one Reveler, I think. My opponent didn't seem like they had a threat in their hand last turn. Let's deploy the dragons. But I could definitely have a Skyclave Apparition in their hand, though. Could have a Heliod, maybe. Could they have Archangel of Thune? They can have it. I didn't really think that they did. I guess I was wrong. How bad is Archangel for us here? I'm not sure. I think we're supposed to draw 2, though. Try to find a spell. I think we're supposed to leave up Blood Crypt, but I'm not sure either. A lot of things I'm a little indecisive over here, I guess. Why does put Spool Acid to keep Snap? Feels pretty free. I mean, I want to kill the Ranger Captain. Ranger Captain is like so dangerous against us in this spot. So we keep the Drown to kill the Archangel of Thune. We can also double block Archangel of Thune now. Never mind. Alright, so they get to Gavany Township, hit us for 4. Then we get to drown this and put Lurrus into our hand or hold up second Drown in the lock. I think I'm holding up second Drown in the lock. With 2 forces, what would you replace the 3rd force with? Like another Spell Snare. Spell Pierce, maybe. A counterspell of your choice. Maybe another Drown. If you push first, the Ranger Captain dies regardless. I'm confused. Not if I don't bolt the Ranger Captain. I guess I'm just confused about the line. Probably don't want to just sit and argue about it forever, though. Drown is so good. Ever played RuneScape? When I was a kid, yeah. Good friend of mine got really into like the remaster or whatever, or the old school RuneScape servers. You mean we push Ballista, it dies, then I snap bolts? Well, I mean, if I do that, then they get to put another counter on the Ballista. I guess it's not that big a deal. And it can also like bait them into playing differently instead of just like playing face up. Don't think it matters a ton. Probably want to play the first force. Probably want to cut Unearth against the exile-based removal too. I feel like 4 bolt 2 push is a good removal split. I don't know that I necessarily want an extra push. I might want more. I might want one more. And like, what am I playing instead? Like, EE is not that good. Gust is not that good. Yeah, I guess I'm playing the pushes. Maybe I'll play force number 2. No, I think Kling stays in as a card advantage engine. Prowess trigger. But it's Mold to 6 on the play. Does any green-white deck still play good old Gavny Township? Our opponent's deck sometimes plays it. They don't always play Gavny, though. No one-mana removal spell for the bird feels bad. Especially when I have 8 in my deck. I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to mulligan, though. I feel like EE is necessary evil against the 4 Ariak Champion deck. Maybe, maybe not, though. We also just have Snapcaster to block Ariak Champion. But maybe you're right. I guess I probably shouldn't have played this into the Ballista either. Alright, maybe I lied when I said earlier that was going to be the most aggressive concession. Ranger's just so good in this matchup. Yeah, so I think what I'm doing is getting a Watery Grave, casting Sprite Dragon, pushing the Ranger Captain, and if they want to kill my Sprite Dragon right now, that's fine. If they have a Heliod plus land in their hand, they just won't, and they'll kill me. But I think this is just the line we have to take. Brickadelphia. Not a brick. Gotta kill the Ballista or we die. Well, we can kill the Ballista. And hold up Charm / Snap Push. Maybe we're gonna win this game. We've drawn really well. Hard to deny that. Yeah, 3 mana to murder the Ballista with Charm just seemed like such a poor play to me. Well, I can't beat Infinite Life. And so we could try to like snap push this, but if they just have the read that I have a removal spell, we have to hold up removal the rest of the game, which feels pretty bad, so I'm just gonna try to not have to do that. But has 2 cards left, so we've got a pretty quick clock in Sprite Dragon. They sack their Horizon Canopy, maybe looking for specifically Path to Exile. Snap Bolt puts them to not dead. Also, notably, for those of you who haven't heard this before, if your green-white Heliod opponent is playing Birds of Paradise, that usually means that they are playing Archangel of Thune, which we've already seen. But if you see Birds of Paradise and Noble Hierarch, you can infer Archangel of Thune, and if you see Arbor Elf and Utopia Sprawl, you can infer not Archangel of Thune. I mean, I was so close to conceding that game. I think that they maybe conceded a bit early, but whatever, right? Their hand maybe was very weak. 3 and 1. Let's keep this. We're playing against Fran. I clicked keep before I saw I was playing against Fran, although I don't really know what Fran is playing. But Fran usually plays Titan. Yeah, I like the Goblin's Pirate Hero deck a lot. Was definitely hoping that this was Reclaimer. Seems like it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and clean to dust my Scalding Tarn here. Yeah, we have a weak hand against Titan. We do have 4 copies of Aether Gust in the sideboard, so maybe we lose this game and win the match, though. Also, maybe double bolt to Titan. Fatal Push on top. Fran named Dryad here. I think I want to make the kind of high risk play of putting Lurrus into my hand. And next turn we could maybe Fatal Push Dryad plus play Lurrus, or Fatal Push Dryad and hold up Double Bolt for Titan. But just playing Dryad here is not going to be enough mana for Titan. They would Fran would also need like Azusa. Vesuva copying Cavern, naming Giants. Scary. Oh, we were supposed to push on upkeep to be able to snap push. This was a mistake. This list uses Valakut. My opponent's deck almost that does contain Valakut, yes, to go with Dryad, and tutor up Valakut with Primeval Titan. Having Double Bolt is like quietly very good here, by the way. Is this the Symbiosis? It is. Not having an answer to this feels really bad. Maybe they'll brick. Maybe they'll hit Dryad and we can just drown it. They bricked. Keck W. It's awesome. I might Snap Cling. Kind of like Snap Cling on my... oh, whoops. Well, missing out a card here. If we Lurrus, we don't have Drown Up. Whatever. There's an Elden Ring gameplay leak. I'm probably not that interested in watching it. So we'll see what card we could have had in our hand after we draw. Opponent's top card is Colony Garden. Okay, not a very relevant card to have. Although we would have a card underneath, actually. Of course, never mind. But if this was a black source, then we could have had Drown Up. Alright, Fran's got something. Another Turn Timber. Okay. Bricked on the first one. Hasn't shuffled. But we have Double Bolts. Sticks elusive this because this is, like, of course, like the worst threat. Fran's gonna haste the plant token, isn't he? Not gonna haste the plant token. Let's try to find out what the top card of Fran's library is. He was supposed to opt first. There's a Valakut on top. So many decisions. Yeah, the plant on defense is pretty good. We could have maybe pushed. I don't think we need to push right now, though. Mana leak a couple turns too late. So hoping for no natural Titan. Just make another plant token. I see. So I think here we go. Push a plant. And then Cling to Dust. Targeting Fatal Push, exiling every card of my library besides the Bauble. I want to keep cards in my opponent's yard for Drown so I can drown a Titan. This opponent's hand is Valakut, mystery card. I guess I'll Bauble myself. We have a Delta on top, which I'll shuffle away. Just attack with Snapcaster. Tenuous position for sure. We're really only cold to like exactly the card Primeval Titan off the top though. We're pretty resilient to most other things here. So if we can get one more card in the yard, we're not even that soft to that. Tuesday MTG, thank you for the host. Playing out Teleria West, potentially to have enough blue mana to transmute if another one is drawn, because there wasn't actually enough blue mana there. Cycle a Cling on my Scalding Tarn. Sprite Dragon's a good draw. Is Archmage's Charm a good draw? I'm not sure. Probably fine, right? Fran still has a Vesuva. Fran Vesuva. Oh, bounced the Vesuva. I missed that. Azusa Lost But Seeking on the top of Fran's library. Shouldn't be a very relevant card, right? Maybe steal the plants. Kolaghan's Command means we can drown Titan, so that's a good draw. Could also kill the Azusa, maybe. Shocking myself a lot. Yeah, I don't think my life total matters. Like here, now because I'm shocked, I've got double 3-drop up. Hand is Valakut Mystery card right now. Oh, Vesuva Valakut Mystery card, of course. So this is going to pick up Teleria West. So why isn't Lurrus attacking? If we attack with Lurrus, they can Slayer Stronghold to pump the plant and kill my Lurrus, which is not an exchange that favors us. Oh, I should probably kill Azusa, make them discard now. So they can't play out the Valakut. And then I guess they're also just dead to me stealing the plants. Yeah, there's a lot going on, I know. Complicated game one. We got pretty lucky to win this. Like, just the break on the turn Timber Symbiosis ended up being huge. Like, even just fine. I guess we would have just drowned the Dryad. Like, we never ended up using this drown. But that's my plants now. Alright, get to bring in 4 copies of Aethergast, cutting 4 copies of Lightning Bolts. I think 2 push is about the amount you want for Dryad, although maybe we'll cut the Unearth for the 3rd push. I require your plant, Fran. Mulligan. Keep. Sometimes Magic is just easy. Although we do have a kind of an interesting decision. Do we cast this Opt on turn 1? I think we play the blue source for sure, so we could cast Charm on turn 3. But I might save this Opt for a Sprite Dragon trigger. I think that I will, because we have the Gust to play on turn 2. Thank you, Mishra's Bauble. We don't get... Do we get Titan if they have Azusa? Oh. No, they're 1 short. It's just Azusa, right? It's Dryad anyways, not Azusa, thankfully. Keep Snapcaster so we can go Gust into Snapcast. Azusa bounce link gets me Titan because they have Castle. Right, yeah, you're right. I was thinking that they couldn't tap the castle in that way, but you're right, they can. Whenever I know my opponent, like I know my opponent's Francisco, I always start off, using he, and then I just default back to they. Puts the tracker on the bottom. Can you get Lurrus with Glittering Wish if he's your companion? I think so, yeah. I don't see why you couldn't. Well, it's probably going to be draw a counterspell and win, or don't draw a counterspell and lose. I chose poorly. Friend put the Titan on top. I think he'll figure out how to cast the Titan. Gets me on the play for game 3 though, which is huge. Lurrus is definitely female. I mean, I don't know the lore, but you know, if your basis is just protecting the babies, I don't think that's gender specific. I think we're keeping this. Honestly, just Sprite Dragon is the most important card to have in your hand in this matchup, I think. I've been considered putting a very powerful Mystic Sanctuary in my deck. I think it would be too painful on the mana base to play Sanctuary. Just too many colors, sadly. Gotta play these fast lands. Maybe we should cut the Spell Snare too, for like some amount of bolts. Spikes the man and protects his baby Athena. Yeah, I had to do that the other day. That dog from downstairs. Copying Darkslick Shores. Interesting. This is a bad way to go out. It's a really bad way to go out. But we're incredibly lucky. Alright, feeling a bit better now. If we draw a spell here, I'm feeling maybe even good. Yargle be good. Yargle's been pretty temperamental today, honestly. Okay, Yargle's finally no longer mad at us. Snare literally kind of like, yeah, I should have boarded out the Spell Snare. I just forgot to. Alright, Titan can come down here. Get a mana leak. Oh, if you we could have actually mana leaked that Azusa and they couldn't pay because it's Castle Garenbrig mana, but I think we're not supposed to mana leak it. It's kind of a funny interaction. One more land drop. Explosives X equals 3, but with 2 colors. Guess I'm not supposed to leak that. I should have leaked the Azusa, I guess. Why not mana leak that? I was thinking that I would be able to mana leak something else, like specifically the card Primeval Titan after the Azusa, but I was wrong. Why not mana leak the explosives? I mean, they just pay and then we get like 1 hit for 3 in. This doesn't feel like good enough to me, especially when the mana leak could still hit something and actually trade with it. But maybe that's just not likely enough. Does Fran have enough land drops to do this? Oh, yeah, it does just have the castle. Stinks, GG's to Fran. GG's to Fran. Was Gusting around Sprite Dragon too cute? I think it was too cute, yeah, when we have Lurrus to get it back. I think we should have leaked the Azusa. That was a mistake on our part. Not sure that we're necessarily still winning that game because Fran had such a good hand. But it's possible. I 3-2'd with every deck today. Kind of hard to comment too much on that. I mean, maybe I should say that, between Grixis Dragon, Dimir Control, Blue-Red Dragons, and Blue-Red Through the Breach, which are 4 decks I played today, and they're all decks I like in the format. They're more so decks I'd play in specific metagames rather than be like the deck I'm on, which has been banned Squirrel Blade for a while. But I think all these decks are fine, and if you like any of them, I encourage you to pick them up. in this new exciting modern metagame. But of course, after we've been defeated by Fran, we should raid. And if you want to learn how to play Titan like our opponent, Fran's definitely a good one to learn from, because he was our opponent.
Ha 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 ha!